Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Friday morning trading room. 1 second here, we'll get the screen share happening. So after a little bit of chopping about yesterday, the market lit up in the afternoon, putting in a very strong rally. Here we'll take a look at the daily chart. It will make a little bit more sense, give us the overview. This was yesterday's session. Note the buyers stepping up pretty much the same place where they did before. This is characteristic of a market that may be trying to get bullish. So that's going to put me probably in a slightly more bullish frame of mind here today. You can see, however, where we left off up here and where we're opening down here, we have a bit of an upside gap, don't we? So that may encourage a little buying as well. I think we got to get out of this whole 7,000 area though. Every time the market seems to run up to around 7,000, it gets knocked down. If we can get above 7,000 and stay above 7,000, we might be in a better position. Right now though, just a few minutes into the day, we're got a little bit of a sideways drift going on. Well, I think I'll wait. I was going to suggest maybe we take a look at this as a sideways range, which has been working out pretty well overall, identifying those sideways trading ranges, waiting for the breakout, waiting for the market to retest. This would be what I would classify as sideways range. It would look something like this, I think. And you can see very, very busy here in the few opening minutes. Look at all these bars that are printed already. While we're waiting on that, and in order to avoid doing something silly, let me see. Oh, look at that. You're checking out Joel's little liquidity indicator that he put me onto. The volume in the S&P is really, really low. What is going on? I'm not sure how they actually calculate this, but certainly the S&P, one of the largest markets in the world, if not the largest market in the world, should not be quite that thin. The NASDAQ, another index market, which is closely related to the S&P. should also be similar. So if this was our trading range, if I was correct about that, this now is the breakout from that trading range. We should see something resembling a retest of this breakout. Oh, nicely done. Mark's doing well. He said, had a pre-market late filter entry. Oh, pre-market doesn't look all that hot either. Oh, yeah, here were a couple of nice trades. About an hour and a half before the open. Or sorry, half an hour before the open. Very nice follow through on both those late filter entry signals. Once again, for those of you trading the Falcon, the late filter entry, very, very strong signal. The filter will go out of sync, come back into sync. It has to come back into sync. That's very important. The trend line itself never changes color. You get your signal and away you go. It doesn't always develop such a nice strong move as this, but it should be enough to at least find your high probability objective. Oh, had another nice little late filter entry signal here just a few minutes ago. That one getting some decent follow through. All right, if we're going to do this breakout scenario, we know if this breakout is going to hold, then see, we're retesting the breakout zone. Then the market does need to trade below this low. If there's going to be anything resembling a trend to this breakout, the market has to get below here. When and if it does come down here, I will place another order. Oh, I was going to say I'm going to place another order above here, but I don't need to do that right now because I got filled on a very, very quick move to the short side. So the sellers kind of taking control here. I'm going to chicken out and take my trade to break even at this point. Oop, and I got tagged at break even. May have been a little bit quick. We'll see. But the lack of volume is making for a very, very choppy market. The scenario remains the same, however, where we're kind of in a bit of a range here where we could look for the market to continue lower based on the breakout of this trading range. If this breakout lower fails, then the market's going to head higher. Now, we did see a breakout, another breakout right here, and another failure. That makes me a little bit nervous about shorting. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to take a look at taking one side of this trade. I'm going to look for a test of the extreme at this point, and essentially we're going to get a rule of three signal. I've already parked my order up here. Actually, I could change that. No, I'm not going to change it because we're getting a little bit close. Now we're developing a rule of three. Even though we only have two counter trend signals, this is actually already a rule of three signal. If the market pulls back from here a little bit, I will use my set prices so I automatically get my stop. All right, and here too, I'm not going to waste any time getting this trade to break even though my trigger is up here. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's not fair. Let's see now how the market responds to that little trend line that I've drawn. Wow, what a mess. So the buyers should have held that trend line. The market did not get that deep inside this trading range, which makes me think, okay, maybe the sellers do have control of the market. Maybe I'll just wait. After all, discretion is the better part of valor, is it not? Yes, Scott says +2. I should have taken my +2. Nice to see you back in the room, Scott. Were you out traveling the world? Oh, nice. Scott says, I did go to Hawaii to turn 50. We haven't been to Hawaii in ages. It seems like we blew it out early. We went to Hawaii nonstop, year after year after year. Beautiful spot, though. My goodness. All right. Do we actually have a trend now, or a wannabe trend at least? I think we might. Oh gosh. Don't need that deep pullback. Look at the Geiger counter here. My goodness. We're getting a bullish block, and then look at the bear block coming through here. Oop. And I looked the other way, and I missed my number one signal. Darn! I wanted in on that one. If I forgot to mention it, that's what I was looking for, was a number one signal to print. The cloud's crossing. We're getting the pullback. I suppose as quick as the market is this morning, I should have thrown my just in case order in above there. Yeah, Scott says, I figured going to Hawaii would give me 3 extra hours at 49. Um, Mark writes, welcome back, Scott. Missed your humorous commentary. Happy birthday. Turned 57 on October 18th myself. Well, happy birthday to you too, Mark. Maybe I should relabel the trading room, the oldies trading room. Okay, we got a bit of a 4-arrow consolidation going here on the Hawk. And are we going to get a late filter entry signal here on the Falcon? It's thinking about it. We're not changing over on the filter yet, but notice how the trend line was thinking about going a little bit flat there. All right, now the filter's out of sync. What you could do is you could park an order here, knowing that if this bar finishes bullish and prints a signal, there you go. See how the filter comes back into sync? You can anticipate that. Let's see if we get any follow through on this one. The market almost looking like it wants to give us another pullback and retest of this trading zone before committing. So here was the trading zone. I'm going to highlight it with horizontal lines now because we're getting a little bit extended. So here was the breakout, the retest, the test of the extreme after the second attempt to move lower, and then the market moving higher. And this is where we are at right now, looking for a possible retest now of the breakout to the upside. And that little bit of a move up there should have found the profit target, and hooray, it did. Yeah, Mark says, okay, I prefer senior wisdom trading. Maybe we should call it seasoned traders room. Uh, yeah, here's a A happy birthday back to you, Mark from Scott. Mark's the man. Scott writes, happy late filter king birthday. Yeah, that's good too. Steven says we could call it the old farts trading room, but I was told not to trust farts anymore. Oh, well done. Mark says I hit my quota. Went 4 for 4. Mark's done for the day. The good news is we definitely have a trend now. So I think we can be a little bit more aggressive, perhaps on the buy side. You could pick up any of these discretionary signals, or even here on the hawk, which will tend to produce signals a little bit more quickly. You can see we had a macro pullback piggybacking on a 4-arrow consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4. The market taking off there off on that 4th arrow. No trouble finding your profit objective on any of these hawk signals. And like I said, the hawk will tend to give you signals a little bit more frequently. How's our trading band doing? Ooh, look at that. It's up to 70 ticks. I don't know if I'm quite as brave to try to short this band back to the hard edge, but we are starting to get a little bit overextended. And a retest of this whole 68.45, 68.50 zone does seem plausible. Well, if you're inclined to try these counter trend moves, there's your entry point. You're going to get this on the Raptor as well, because if this high holds and it trades below here, you're going to get yourself a number 2 signal. The band's still relatively broad. I don't like counter trend signals in the face of such a strong trend. You see, there you go. Every time you try counter trend, you block yourself from taking a with trend trade. That, to me, is the biggest nuisance in taking counter trend trades. What makes counter trend trades so inviting is they usually look better. It looks like it should work. Whereas the with trend trades very often don't look all that promising until well after the fact. Yeah, Mark says we're heading to 68.80. I can see that. Yeah, 68.81 is the median line. It could hold up there a little bit. Yesterday's highs were around 69.20, and you can see we have actually a primary resistance line building there, which is a coincidence. It's not by design. I think yesterday's high, just checking my chart here, was actually 69.20 and a half. All right, we did get that little bit of a pullback now. Stephen writes, this week I'm down 375. I had so many break-even trades, and then I made some stupid trades, and I know I need to get back to basics. And I had a great day. Yes, it is easy to lose sight of the basics. I think it happens to all of us at one time or another. You kind of get caught up in the moment. You end up chasing the market around. I remember years ago when I was getting started trading, I hit such a bad spell, I seriously considered fading all my signals. If I had a signal to buy, I would short it, and if I had a signal to sell, I would buy it. It started to work out a little bit better. I knew there was a little bit of a problem in my approach. All right, we have primary support here at 68.43. I think a move back there is very feasible, especially if we see a proper test of the extreme. So right now, the high of this leg up are these highs here in the 68.75 region. If this next rally fails, well, we can look for a break below here and a possible move back down here to the primary support. Oh, Mark, you're a braver man than I. Mark says, I took a chance on that Eagle cloud gap and got in with 2 contracts to the downside from 68.72 half for another quick profit. That trade took care of my commissions and then some for the day. Now I'm done, though. All right, let's see. Oh, we got a couple late filter entry signals here to buy. Actually, I suppose we almost have the market in a bit of a pinch. So we could do an OCO order again, or we could just manually enter the orders. So what's going on here? We're starting to flip-flop on the orders, as you can see. And we're looking at a bit of a test of the extreme. We've had a very, very strong uptrend, but we've had now 3 attempts to resume the uptrend, and so far, nada. If the market breaks the lows, obviously there's some buying going on here around the 68.60 zone, but I'm looking for a possible breakout and move lower. Overall, the trend is still up. Given this monster move, the smart play is just to buy and hold. You can almost arbitrarily take a buy signal. Even if you took these number 3 signals up here, the problem I don't think so much is the direction as stop placement, because there's not that much structure down here somewhere where you can effectively hide a stop. All right, here we go. All right, got the trade up to break even. Oh, don't tag me again. Here, we'll make Scott happy. There we go, +2. So this signal that printed down here is actually a number 3 signal. It did not print as a number 3 because the cloud was ever so slightly out of sync. Nuts. All right, well, we'll just keep waiting. I'll read a few extra comments here. Stephen writes, yes, I did so much trading the market around this week. Those counter trend killed me and made me exhausted. If I would have just kept my 3 momentum trades, I would have been up a few grand. I know, counter trend trades. I don't know why I even bother. Well, I know why I bother, because the few times they do work out, the move is so fast and pure. It's so easy to make money on them. You forget all about those times that the market beats you up. Let's see here. Ray's asking, good morning, Eric. How do you turn on the Geiger counter tick display? I've never even adjusted anything here on my Geiger counter. I didn't even know there was. Is there an option? Oh, here we go. A display type arrow. What am I missing, Ray? Oh, are you referring to that window? This is if you hold down the wheel on your mouse, or if you have a 3-button mouse, you push the center button. It will give you all the data associated with the bar you're looking at. No, that's not it, he says. Oh, I see. Okay. The band counter. Gotcha. All right. Yes, I shouldn't actually put the Geiger counter over that, should I? I should leave it like so. The band counter um, is on the latest version of the Raptor, and it should also be on the Eagle. So to get that, simply go to the members area at Indicator Warehouse and download the Raptor or reinstall the Raptor. You can do it, obviously, you can do it manually as well. You just kind of, when the band starts to get a little bit broad, you can kind of make a note of the high and the distance back to the hard edge. So you go from the soft edge to the hard edge. But for those who are mathematically challenged, it's a helpful indication of when the market might be getting a little bit too far overbought or oversold. Yes, the band, and like I said, you can get it for the Eagle as well. I don't have it on the Eagle, obviously. But yeah, it measures the distance from the soft edge to the hard edge. We can all thank Jim for that one. He was the early adopter of the cloud getting too broad, and he would start looking for selling opportunities. And he would be very aggressive on those sells. He'd be using the Raptor, and he would start shorting the first bearish bar. And now he was also very aggressive with his stops, so he would get stopped out on the first reverse, but most times it worked out reasonably well for him, enough that he kept doing it anyway. And then we can also thank Scott for always asking, can you do a band counter? Can you do a band counter? Can you do a band counter? You do need to, I was going to say, you do need to be careful though, anytime you take a counter trend signal. But the band counter does tend to help confirm a counter trend signal. This did not print as a number 2 signal because it was too far removed from this high. However, it is a retest of the current high. It is a failure. If it occurred a little bit faster or you changed your sensitivity parameters in your Raptor, this would have printed as a number 2. Checking it against your band counter and seeing that the band was very, very broad would give you a little bit more confidence in taking that short. Likewise, where we're at right now, we're getting a number 2 signal off of, well, I thought the band said it was 60 ticks. Maybe I misread that. But if we're looking at a counter trend signal, you want that band to be relatively wide. So at this point where this signal is printing, the band is only 25 ticks broad. Oh, there you go. There's a cool feature. I didn't know Ben did that. And then when this signal is printing, the band is really quite broad already. It's still 60 or just shy of 60 ticks wide. The parameters will change for the market you are following, so it's worth your while to spend a little bit of time analyzing that. But as far as the NASDAQ is concerned, anytime we seem to get around 50, 60, certainly 70 ticks wide, it does make the market a little bit more prone to going the other way. It's almost like it's teetering. Yeah, like Scott says, they should know the band counter will be different for different size blocks. So your brick size will affect it, the market you're following will affect it. But honestly, it doesn't take that long to figure out, right? You just take a look at those times the market reverses and goes back into your hard edge. How wide did the band have to be for a reversal to occur? Here's another one. How broad was the band? And it won't take you very long. You'll get a pretty quick clue what the tipping point for the market you're following will be. All right. Another rally coming in here. The Eagle turning over, getting a full-on bull. And, oh, hooray, we're getting a number 1 signal here on the Raptor. And if I hurry, I can get that order, park that order there. I suppose I could have even picked it up on a limit as the market dipped back down here, but why ask for trouble? Not liking the way we're flinching here at the high. All right, let's see what they can do with the high of the morning, if we can get above there. Come on. There we go. There we go. Oh, just about to kiss the break even. There we go. I'll force it. Get up there. Oh, close. Now watch it go up and tag my profit objective. Doggone +2 break even stop. Well, there they go. They hit my profit objective after tagging me out of break even. Oh well. There'll be another chance. It was a decent trade. And it looks like there's going to be some decent follow through on that. Like I said, after this big rally that we saw here, after the market seems to have settled in, you can pretty much look at any buy opportunity today, and you'll probably do all right. So what that means is, okay, we're getting some warning dots. We know if the market continues higher, we're going to get another buy signal. You could throw in an arbitrary buy signal off of any of these discretionary signals. Those are those signals that meet all the signal parameters, but they don't actually qualify as one of our high probability signals. That's why they don't get the signal prompt, the number prompt. All right, let's close that up. It's just doing that to make a point. We're now at the median line, 68.81. Oh, Scott says the cloud count is different on the Eagle and the Raptor. I was not aware of that. I assumed that both, as soon as they got up around the, more than 50 ticks. So how high do you like the cloud count to be on the Eagle, Scott? Yeah, okay, I get it. The brick size changes it. Oh, really? Scott says anything over 40 on the Eagle, and he starts to get a little bit more bearishly inclined. And here a nice little pullback again, a number 2 signal. We'll just wait. It's important to not ignore the left side of your chart. So you can see we had a little bit of a trading range going on here. This one right here, we had a bearish break that did not stick. That also confirmed that the market should head the other way. Now we have a bullish break that did not stick, which just further adds to the rather sideways nature of the market this morning. Here's an additional comment from Mark. I'd agree with anything over 40, but high 50s, low 60s has been a sweet spot lately. It's important to look left and see the average when using it, though. And I would have to agree with that. All right. So off the bottom end of this old trading range, we're getting a bit of a bounce. A red bar buy, which does tend to be a fairly high probability signal here on the eagle, getting a little bit of a second push opportunity on that as the bar flinches. There we go. Now we're going to get a full second push. Can I cover the risk? Oh, I can too. All right, so I'll throw that eagle trade in there. The hawk got spoiled by the yellow bar on that macro pullback. A possible trend change on the Falcon. And while the Raptors just dead neutral here at the moment. Although the next buy signal may actually produce a number one signal, which will be the cloud crossover. So the cloud's out of sync, now back into sync. I'm surprised that didn't print as a number one signal. The next one will definitely print as a number one. So you can anticipate that. What's going on is your clouds are out of sync. See, they're out of sync. Now they're in sync. There's a pullback. We've got the warning dot, so I know the next bar that prints bullish will produce a buy signal. Well, you got the warning dot, but no buy signal. All right, well, I'm long anyway, so looking for that number one signal now. Let's see. Scott is asking if Mark is trading a 12 tick brick on the eagle. All right, so here now the number one signal, a second push opportunity. And yes, Mark is staying with a 12 tick brick on the eagle. Oh, the hesitation. I don't know if I'm going to be able to ride out this swing. I may have gotten in here a touch too early. If I can hold on here a little bit longer. Okay, come on, buyers. There we go. Let's go. So I can manually roll my stop up a little bit here. I can do the same here. Whoa, all right, let's get these trades to break even. Hit the profit target on the Raptor trade, hooray. And I think we'll squeeze this one. Come on. We're struggling now with the high right here. If we get above that high, if we get above that high, there should be a little bit more bullish follow through. Just maybe I was a little bit too quick with my stop again. I didn't want to leave it at break even because I had all that open profit in there. But this is what the trade was looking like. Oh, okay. Maybe it wasn't a bad decision. Looks like I would have got tagged there around the break-even mark. So it makes me feel a little bit better about the early stop. Well, grinding out a few trades here today. Not a bad morning overall, but not easy trading either. Really got to stay sharp. I'm wondering now whether this is going to turn out to be like a double top. In which case, we could see a larger pullback. Maybe get back down to that 68.40 zone where we have a resistance line. But right now, we're obviously sideways. Trade forecaster says we are in scalp mode. Scalp mode with slightly bullish tendencies. Here now a number 3 signal. Oh, I waited too long. So the number 3 signal coming off of the hard edge. Remember, whenever the market gets into the hard edge, you should be looking for some sort of reaction. And given the earlier trend that we saw today, it just makes more sense to try to stay with the buyers. All right, well, we're still back and forth. Okay, well, more of the sideways action. We could just bracket it like we did before, wait for the breakout, see where the limits are, trade it accordingly. So long as it's within that trading range, it's going to be very, very difficult. All right, here's a bit of a bull break. Oh, well, not much of a bull break. Oop, spoke too soon. All right, now that we've seen the market breakout, now that we're seeing the retest, once again, we know if the trend is going to continue, it has to get above that high. So that gives you a relatively high probability place where to place your entry. If it starts to look as though the market is going to hold this breakout, you could consider taking a tighter entry. And I should point out that now that the market has flinched, you could place your exit or sell order below here as well, because if this breakout does not continue, then of course the market has to reverse and head lower. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to get a stop in there. Come on, let's get a little giddy up. They're thinking about it. You can also draw a trend line like that. You could even bring your stops in below this trend line if you chose. In fact, I may opt to manage this one a little bit more aggressively. All right, well, they tagged me out. We'll see here in a moment whether that was a good idea or not. And it's starting to look like the breakout is not going to hold. Well, if that's the case, you could throw your sell order below there. Whenever the market struggles to continue with a breakout, it does open up the possibility of a move in the other direction, and maybe, just maybe, I was a little bit too quick with my stop there. Yep, I was. Darn it. All right. Well, that was unfortunate. That is a bad habit of mine, where I will tweak myself out of a perfectly good trade. Oh well. All right, another little pullback. It looks like the follow through is maybe getting a little bit less. Well, I don't want to get too crazy on the short side, but it does look to me as though the market may be getting a little bit weaker. We are producing a test of the extreme here. We've already produced a number 2 signal on the Raptor, and if I hurry, I might be able to still get in on that. I'm going to stretch my profit target here a little bit. And actually, I'm going to get my break even out of the way as well. If the market is reversing at this point, and we're not talking full-blown reversal, this is more like a little bit of a pullback on the day type reverse. I think a move back to the median line is not at all out of the question. And if I wanted, I could even look for a big pullback here to the 68.40 region, which is the primary support. That would be huge. Got to see these highs hold here. Don't want to see a bullish break. I'll try not to roll my stops too quickly this time. Okay. There we go. We got a little giddy up. Take the trade to break even now. And you know what? Oh, I was going to say I'll try to run it out with my parabolics. Did not happen. We're back now, as you can see, retesting what was the old zone. And here we are, dead neutral again. All right, well, we're going to get an early, you could call this an early cloud crossover signal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to park an order here. So the cloud's not fully crossed, and as you can tell, I'm got a slightly bearish bent on the market at this point, mostly because these highs, these rallies are not continuing. So that makes me think maybe we will see the market try to retest some of this support. After all, if it doesn't want to go higher, there is a pretty good chance it will try to go lower. And admittedly, this is a very aggressive trade on my part. Okay, got the trade to break even. And you know what? I am going to run this one out. We'll see how far they can go. Come on. Give me that. Oh, can't get that swing either. A little bit of a bounce here off of the median line. Oh well. Things definitely slowing though. As now we apparently are getting a little bit of a bounce back from the earlier breakout zone. So here was the top end. Here's the bigger retest. This is a red bar buy, and you know what? There are some interesting developments here. We've got a little bit of a bull flag, perhaps. You could use that trend line set up to buy the market, or you know what? We could do another bracket trade. We could look to buy a breakout above that trend line, looking for the trend to continue. Don't want to make it too tight. Or we could sell a failure in anticipation that the market is going to drift back inside this trading range. So many choices. But we are kind of closing in on the lunch hour, and it is Friday. The market could just be getting a little bit quiet. All right, let's see what we get. So I will get rid of this other order. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Why did it do that? All right, hold on. That's not what I want either. Stop it. Okay, let's try this. They're thinking about it. You can see how the momentum has really drained out of the marketplace here. Come on. No, they're just going to keep bouncing around here, back and forth for a bit. All right, I'm going to get ready to close up the room here shortly. If you are going to continue trading this afternoon, you're going to want to stay more bullish. That's, again, going back here to the early breakout here right from the morning. That doesn't mean that we can't see a pullback. However, I think your best bet is still going to be to stay with the buyers as long as possible. All right, gang, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. It's supposed to be pretty nice up here in the Pacific Northwest. I may sneak out to the golf course. I will talk to you on Monday. Bye for now.